Are $5,000 camera bodies actually making your photos worse? Have we officially reached a point where gear has become so technically flawless, so clinically sharp, that photography is losing its soul? Top landscape photographers are suddenly ditching their heavy $3,000 setups for tiny pocket cameras that look like high school field trip gear. Today, we settle the gear versus vision debate once and for all. Today, we are breaking down a $200 studio lighting hack tested by Tony and Chelsea Northrup that makes $2,000 strobes look like paperweights. We are looking at 9 secret Photoshop tools that Unmesh Dinda proved completely destroy generative AI. And we're looking at why Mark Denney abandoned his full-frame camera to cure creative burnout. So no fluff, let's jump straight to Manny Ortiz putting 20,000 frames through the brand new Sony flagship, the Sony a7R6. Manny Ortiz dropped 2 massive videos on the new Sony a7R6 after putting over 20,000 frames through it in real-world shooting conditions. Manny went out on a limb and claimed that this high-resolution full-frame monster actually beat the medium-format Hasselblad X2D in overall versatility and real-life performance. And this sounds amazing, right? Time to sell a kidney and upgrade. But hold your horses. If you actually read between the lines of Manny's tests, a slightly terrifying truth emerges for camera manufacturers. Unless you're cropping into a photo by 80% or printing your images on the side of a 15-story skyscraper in Times Square, the technical leap between this new flagship and the camera you already own is virtually invisible in daily work. We are zooming in at 800% to examine a dog's eyebrow hair just to justify our credit card debt. PetaPixel backed up this exact sentiment in their review of the new Sony 100 to 400mm compact zoom. They titled their video with 3 brutal words: competence without excitement. It's a great title, and it's actually worth thinking about for a second. PetaPixel essentially called a multi-$1,000 telephoto lens the photographic equivalent of a beige 2008 minivan. It's sharp, it's fast, it's reliable, and it lacks complete character. And to make matters worse for luxury gear makers, optical legend Dustin Abbott reviewed the new Tamron 12 to 20mm f2.8 zoom. Dustin proved mathematically that this third-party crop sensor lens delivers about 95% of the optical performance of first-party G Master and S-line glass for half the price. So what's the takeaway here, Paddy? Are you getting Japanese? We have officially reached peak gear. The bottleneck in your photography is no longer dynamic range, and it's not sensor readout speed, and it's definitely not megapixel count. The bottleneck is sitting right behind the viewfinder. If your photos aren't compelling right now, a $5,000 camera ain't going to fix it. It's just going to render your mistakes in glorious 60 megapixel clarity. Now, if you think high-end gear exhaustion is limited to camera bodies, let's move into the studio because the lighting market just got hit with a massive reality check. And as I'm passionate about studio photography, I love this next bit. Tony and Chelsea Northrup published a video testing Newer's new Z2 Pro and Z3R roundhead speedlights. He directly challenged the long-held industry belief that serious portrait photographers need to mortgage their houses for $2,000 Pro Photo or similar flagship studio heads. These affordable speedlights deliver clean, consistent, recycle-fast light that handles 99% of real-world client shoots without breaking a sweat. And while Tony was tearing down lighting elitism, Carl and the team at Visual Education proved that power means nothing without control. They published an incredible masterclass where they photographed a moody, dramatic Renaissance still life using literally, and I mean literally, one single light source. No complex 5-light arrays, no massive hair lights, no rim lights, just one light, a simple softbox, and a couple of black foam core flags to shape the shadows. Nathan Elson joined the party too, uploading a breakdown of his all-time favorite single light portrait setups. Both creators proved the exact same point: shadow control is where the magic lives. So what's the lesson here, Paddy? I hear you ask. Well, if you've been holding off on learning portrait photography or studio photography because you think you can't afford a warehouse full of lighting gear, stop making excuses. A single $150 speed light, a cheap umbrella, and a $5 piece of poster board from the dollar store will give you magazine quality light if you learn how to place it with intention. Incidentally, it was Sean Tucker making this exact point 7 years ago in his video Shooting Portraits with One Speedlight that got me into studio photography in the first place. That and maybe having young kids and being stuck at home during COVID. Yeah, they may have had an impact too. The point is, though, that it's really easy to start, and with basic kit, you can get on that wonderful learning curve. And if you're like me, you'll never look back. Incidentally, if this segment just saved you $1,500 on studio gear, that's definitely worth hitting that subscribe button now, don't you think? All right, let's talk directly to our outdoor and landscape shooters, because the landscape community had a delightfully weird, funny, and deeply therapeutic week on YouTube. First off, YouTube's favorite landscape philosopher Thomas Heaton decided to take a break from chasing epic mountain sunsets in freezing rain. Instead, he posted a video titled, "I went birding with my wife." And yes, I had to double check that title too. It was quiet, it was wholesome, unpretentious, and completely devoid of dramatic cinematic music drops. It reminded all of us why we picked up the camera in the first place, simply to observe the world around us with people we care about. And of course, because it's YouTube, the internet couldn't just let Thomas enjoy his birds in peace. The legendary fototripper dropped a video hilariously titled "Almost Unwatchable, Old Man Critiques Thomas Heaton's Landscape Photography." It was a fantastic piece of satire, poking fun at how ridiculously over-analytical and grumpy the online photography community gets when reviewing someone else's fieldwork. If you need a good laugh this week, that video is an absolute must-watch. But the most important landscape story of the entire week came from Denney. Why? Well, because lugging 40 pounds of full-frame bodies, giant 15 to 30mm ultra-wide heavy lenses, metal tripods and filter wallets into the mountains at 4 a.m. had turned his outdoor passion into an agonizing, back-breaking chore. Mark revealed that he intentionally bought a tiny, lightweight compact camera with a fixed lens, leaving his heavy gear at home, and it instantly cured his creative block. He was actually looking at landscape again instead of stressing over whether his tripod legs were perfectly level on a wet rock. To top off the landscape section, that Icelandic guy dropped a quick tutorial showing the exact Lightroom slider trick you need to dial in moody, atmospheric color tones without making your foliage look like radioactive neon green. And why does this matter to me, Paddy? You ask. Well, if you shoot landscapes, listen to me carefully. Stop letting gear dictate your experience in nature. If your heavy camera bag is making you dread hiking out into the woods, leave it in the car. Grab a lightweight camera or even just your phone and go reconnect with the environment. The light matters. The story matters. The weight of your tripod does not. Before we get into our official weekend watch list, we have to talk about post-processing and the human spirit, because the war between manual craftsmanship and artificial intelligence reached a fascinating turning point this week. Unmesh Dinda over at PiXimperfect released a masterclass titled 9 Photoshop Tools That Beat AI Every Single Time. Unmesh took a direct stance against the generative AI hype train. He proved on screen that while generative fill is fine for quick, lazy edits, legacy manual tools like precise frequency separation, clone stamping, and custom path masking still destroys AI when it comes to fine edge fidelity, hair selection, and realistic skin texture. Generative AI makes educated guesses that smudge details that manual tools give you pixel-level precision on. And that commitment to human craft was echoed philosophically across the platform. Martin Osner shared a moving reflection in "I Stopped Enjoying Photography, and Here's How I Got It Back," while Simon Detremont dropped an essay calling photography an excuse to live rather than a technical sport. The Academy of Photography summarized this entire weekly theme with one brilliant reminder: the most valuable photos aren't the best ones. So what's the crack with that, Paddy? Well, my friend, let me advise. Don't let automated one-click AI filters strip the artistry out of your editing process, and stop evaluating your personal photos through the cold lens of social media metrics. The most valuable image in your portfolio isn't the one with the sharpest corners, it's the one that makes you feel something when you look at it 10 years from now. All right, after sifting through dozens of uploads across photography on YouTube, here are 3 videos you should put on your immediate watch list. Number 1. For pure visual and artistic inspiration, go watch Tatiana Hopper's video, "Every Photographer Should Watch This Japanese Filmmaker in 2026. It will completely reshape how you think about cinematic color palettes and framing. Number 2, for landscape and outdoor shooters, watch Mark Denney's video, "This Tiny Camera Fixed Something I Broke." It's a masterclass in mental resets for outdoor creators. And number 3, for lighting and studio mastery, check out Tony and Chelsea Northrup's test of Newer's Z2 Pro speedlights to see how far budget lighting has come. So here's my final verdict for the week. Camera technology may be hitting a plateau, but human creativity certainly hasn't. Stop waiting for the next camera release to start taking great images. Use what you have, simplify your setup, and go out and shoot. And so I want to hear from you down in the comments. Are you currently suffering from gear fatigue, or are you secretly holding out for that next camera announcement? Let's start a debate in the comment section. Admittedly, I bought my first professional grade camera a few years back, and it did my photography the world of good. I felt I had no more excuse. I felt I had arrived. Now that I had the expensive kit, I could justify myself as a serious amateur to friends and family and consequently commit more time to my art. I do think there is an emotional step up when you are upgrading, but to points raised by creators like Mark Denney above, my advice to you is to make sure you know why you are spending the dollars when you do. Incidentally, my other advice on gear that I often give is to make sure you're buying what you need instead of buying what you want. They are not necessarily the same thing. Anyway, to close out, if you enjoyed this weekly signal check, hit subscribe to the channel so you never miss our weekly briefings, and I will see you in the next episode. Stay safe, enjoy the process, and go take some incredible photos. Thank you.